Welcome to the April 14, 2026 meeting of the Northampton Township Planning Commission. Let us stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, a moment of silence for the men and women of our armed forces and first responders.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Tonight's meeting has two agenda items. The first is the consideration of the preliminary final plan land development at 92 Steam Whistle Drive, SLD 25-4. The second one is the consideration of preliminary final plan of subdivision and land development for 400 Twining Ford Road, subdivision SLD 25-1. Our first order of business, though, is to approve the meeting minutes of January. Do I have a motion to approve?
Yes.
Okay, second. All in favor? Aye. Good. Okay, let's move on to the two projects that we have. We'll start with the Steam Whistle Drive presentation.
Thank you. Good evening.
Go ahead.
Chelsea Jackman, I'm here on behalf of Begley, Carlin, and Mandio, and on behalf of the applicant, which is 92 Steam Whistle LLC. Seated to my right is John Richardson from GMAC Engineers. We are in receipt of the Gilmore review letter from March 24th of this year. And we're here tonight for an existing business here in Northampton, which is Reliable Equipment Service. Reliable Equipment and Machinery, which is a U.S.-based manufacturing business that sources and produces its products domestically. It is fabrication of very specific hydraulic tools, parts, equipment, and solutions for power and utility lines. They're looking to do an expansion of about 7,000 square feet to the already existing nearly 18,000 square feet at 92 Steam Whistle. There will be a stormwater controlled dry well that's proposed in the rear of the lot. It will be public water and sewer servicing that area or that property. And the proposed addition is by right in the I-1 district. I'll have Mr. Richardson go over the plan generally. We are requesting a number of waivers, many of them very standard. Probably of note is to state that there is a waiver for sidewalk. We are requesting a fee in lieu of that sidewalk for reasons Mr. Richardson will state if necessary. So I'll ask him to go over the plan briefly, which has been cast on the screen behind you. Okay, behind you. And then if you'd like for me to go specifically through each waiver, I'm happy to do that as well.
And just so everyone understands, this is in the Northampton Industrial Development Park, correct?
Yes, that is correct. And just one more piece of information as to the reason why, and it's really just to have more dry storage. They're not increasing any of their processes. They're not having any more new employees. They already have about 100 that go to work there throughout the 3 shifts throughout the day. So it's really just to expand physically in terms of the space that they have. And that's about it. Okay, Mr. Richardson, if you could.
So the site is currently occupied by the existing building. The client would like to do an addition to the rear. The purpose of the addition is he needs additional space, and there's some tight configuration on the site. Currently, trucks come in and have to try to configure to back in along the northern property line. It's relatively tight and a little awkward. So by doing the addition in the rear, what it allows them to do also is to shift that loading to the rear of the building. And not only do you pick up the additional space, but it makes the loading issue irrelevant for how it is now. As part of the land development, once the rear addition is built, the loading dock on the side of the building would be abandoned to alleviate that issue. As Chelsea said, the addition of in the rear and the additional parking will be managed by underground stormwater dry well in the rear of the lot. There is currently public stormwater piping along the front of the lot in an easement. The dry well will connect to that, so it's not going to discharge to the surface. It will be all maintained underground and discharged to the existing system that is also underground. As part of the project, we're proposing the landscaping that is shown on this plan. It's additional trees for buffering and surrounding the parking lot for shade on the asphalt. As Chelsea said, we are asking for several waivers. I'd be happy to go through those if the board would like. I don't believe any of them are overly onerous or abnormal or anything like that. I would point out that we are asking for 2 waivers of steep slopes, but those steep slopes are already man-made. They were created during the development of the original development, and it's not like some pristine slope or anything like that. So we are asking for a waiver of man-made steep slopes, but the ordinance treats it just like it was a natural slope.
Yeah, do we want them to go through the waivers just for the record, or as you said, they're pretty standard, run-of-the-mill? Any?
I'm okay with them. I've gone through them all.
Okay.
There's a reason for all of them.
You wanted to go through it?
No, it's
No,
never
no,
seen a good
okay.
reason at all.
Yeah, and there was an explanation there, so I don't see any reason to. Any comments from our folks?
I just had one question. In the discussion of the plan, there's some, there we go. There is some discussion in the plan of a potential retaining wall at the back to deal with the slope issue. Could you speak to that issue?
Sure. So we are proposing a section of retaining wall along the rearmost of the parking lot. There is a grade change there. There will be a small retaining wall, more like a garden wall. It's not significant, but there will be a small wall along there. The discussion was in regards to what I'll call the northeast corner. There are some trees along the property line in this area here. I'll point out over here also. And there was discussion on whether we could save those trees by installing a retaining wall in that location. I actually prepared a little bit of a sketch. If Mike, can you go to the very last sheet? Oh, you had it, the very last one. This is roughly a 2-scale sketch of that configuration, where this is the edge of the parking, and this is the tree. And the drip line of the tree is shown relatively accurate for this sketch. And you would notice that all of this is within the drip line of that tree. It's normally recommended if you're doing major disturbance within the drip line of a tree, the tree has a low likelihood of survival. So in our opinion, whether it's graded out or a retaining wall is put in, it really is kind of irrelevant. The disturbance is well within the tree, and whether the retaining wall is built or it's graded out, it's significant disturbance of the root system. Because it's not just the retaining wall. In order to build a retaining wall, you have to come back with some clearance to construct it, and then you have an excavation phase. So it's not just the disturbance. So in our opinion, putting in the retaining wall does not allow us to save those trees in that area.
Okay, and so you're hoping to save those trees?
We are not. We don't believe they can be saved.
They're going to make it. Okay, all right. All right, well, I saw no other problems with the plan.
Okay, any other board comments? Consultant comments? Anything that, no, nothing that, okay. I don't have any, and we've talked to the consultants and there's going to be compliance with all the various comments that have been made on the letters that have gone back and forth.
Correct.
Public comments. Anybody here from the public on this particular project? No? Okay. Then I guess we should.
Okay, well then, I move that we recommend to the Board of Supervisors the preliminary final approval of 92 Steam Whistle Drive Land Development, SLD 254, subject to compliance with the Township's engineer review letter dated March 26, 2026. It's also recommended that the requested waivers be granted.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any nay? No nays? It passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Okay, our second project tonight is at 400 Twining Ford Road, SLD 25-1, in Northampton Township. And why don't you folks go ahead with the presentation, tell us what the project's all about.
Sure. I'll begin with introductions. Again, Chelsea Jackman, Begley, Carlin, and Mandio here tonight on behalf of the applicants, DC LLC Investment Groups, owned by the two gentlemen seated behind me, Chris Levins and Troy Brennan, opposite order. Troy Brennan, Chris Levins, and to my right from Tri-State Engineering is John Genovese. So this project is a 4.89 parcel subdivision where the applicants, it's in the R2 single-family residential district. It is it's south of the intersection of Cloverly Drive on Twining Ford Road, and the proposal is a 7-lot subdivision, 6 residential lots that are all compliant by the ordinance standards, and then 1 lot for stormwater management by way of a infiltration basin that would be maintained, proposed to be maintained by the homeowners association of those homes. A new private cul-de-sac is proposed to be used by the residents. There's an existing dwelling and pool on the parcel at this time that will be demolished. All of the lots will be serviced by public water and sewer. And each lot is between 20,000 square feet and 20,374 square feet. So similarly situated properties across those 6 leading up to the 7. I'll lean into of issue, particularly with the project, is the woodlands disturbance and the trees that will need to be removed to create this subdivision. So at the front here, I'll state that the applicant is in agreement with complying with the replantation plan, working with the township, the engineers, to make sure that we are in compliance with that prior to going to the board, to the supervisors. With that, same as last, I will ask Mr. Genovese to kind of go over the plan in a little bit more detail for all of you. And if you'd like, we're happy to go through each waiver one by one. A lot of them very standard, a lot having to do with the existing condition of the property as is. But with that, Mr. Genovese, if you could provide a little bit more detail as to what I've just outlined.
So Twining Ford Road is on the left of the plan, and as you can see, there's a cul-de-sac that's about 800 feet long, and the 6 lots and the detention basin lot are all on the southwest side of the parcel. The cul-de-sac will be private. All of the utilities will be in that cul-de-sac. One feature that we'd like to point out is that on the northeast side of the cul-de-sac, there exists a stone driveway. That driveway is in an easement, an access easement to the Williams gas pipeline all the way at the end of the parcel. It's been agreed with the pipeline company that they can use the private road for access, so that the easement is to be extinguished, except at the very end where the cul-de-sac is. I'll point, so there's a piece of easement here that we can't extinguish because our parcel stops. But the pipeline company could come off of the cul-de-sac and then access their facility back here. But for the length of the easement all the way to Twining Ford, that would be extinguished. And so the properties, the existing property owners would not have to worry about planning or fencing in their property, they would have an additional 10 feet along the property line with this parcel. So that's one benefit to look like. There's some major trees along that side of the easement. They would be maintained. On this side of the easement, there would be new trees put in and street trees according to the ordinance, and more trees, of course, planted according to the township's ordinance. That pretty much sums it up. There is not much else to say. The drainage, the infiltration basin is here at the end, and you have the Northampton Country Club parcel here, and you have the township parcel here. So there would be no drainage impacts on the neighbors to the northeast. And if there's any more questions, we'll be glad to answer them.
We probably ought to go down through the waivers on this one and just, why don't you point out what they are and your compliance position with the various waivers? I think there's a total of 13.
Yes. Let me find my list. I have it.
Do you want to go in tandem while I read off and we can go to another one?
You want to go?
Would it be okay?
Yeah.
If it's okay with the board, maybe we can do this in tandem. I'll go line by line, and then I can ask Mr. Genovese the reason for that waiver. Is that okay?
Okay.
Great. So the waiver request letter just dated December 9th, 2025. The first request is Section 22-301B to permit a combined preliminary final major subdivision plan instead of a separate submission. I don't know if that needs further explanation, a standard request for that waiver. Is that okay to proceed? Thank you. The second one, Section 22-304.5.E5, to waive the requirement to show all storm drainage, sanitary sewer, and public water supply lines or facilities within 400 feet of the site. I understand, Mr. Genovese, can you explain to the board that's also standard, and that aerials have been provided in lieu of existing features being plotted? Is that,
Right,
is
there's
that
an
accurate?
aerial plan that's contained in the set. It would be at the very end of the drawing set, sheet 22.
Okay.
It shows the overall.
The next one's,
area.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Section 22-304.5, again, to waive the requirement to show the location, names, and widths of streets, curbs, pavement, property lines, and owners of tracts or parcels within 200 feet of the site. Again, standard and same rationale as the last one, correct?
Correct.
The next one, Section 22-403.2A, to waive curbing along Twining Ford Road. If you could provide some explanation as to that. I understand it has to do with the trees and the telephone poles that are already there.
Correct. Along Twining Ford, you have just the asphalt pavement and a small stone shoulder. Then you have utility poles, and then you have a set of large existing trees that line Twining Ford. To get the curb in, we would have to move the poles, and then we would be excavating in the drip line of the trees. And as it was explained just prior by the other engineer, when we do that, we risk the survival of those trees. And they're beautiful, big trees, so.
Is there curbing there now?
No, there's not. There's no
What about on the
curbing.
other side? On the other side, on the Clover,
Yes.
Yeah.
On the other side, there is curbing.
and there's
again-
curbing down the new private road.
Yes, we would propose curbing all throughout the private road.
And again, that waiver request is because it would threaten the vitality of the current trees that are already existing, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
The next one, 22-403.2B, to waive the sidewalk along Twining Ford Road and the proposed private roadway. Is it accurate to state that that sidewalk would not connect to anything?
Yes, and again, we would be excavating, in much more into the drip line of the trees along 24.
Okay.
Is there a fee in lieu of, for that sidewalk, do you know?
There is, in fact, yes.
I think there is,
Yes,
Okay.
there is. Section 23-501.5K, to waive the 100-foot minimum distance from the highest free water surface of any above-ground or partially above-ground detention basin drainage facility to a dwelling unit. The proposed distance is 29 feet. Mr. Genovese, if you could explain the rationale for that request.
The basin is located in this area, as we described. The emergency spillway is along this side of the basin, and so that if there was an overflow situation, it would exit that spillway onto this parcel, away from the dwellings that are proposed. The drainage, there is a drainage pipe proposed, and that also is on this corner. So even the 10 or 25-year storm discharge, which is very small, would come out of that pipe.
22-612.C, to waive the minimum 20-foot residential driveway width. We have 10 feet proposed at the street and 20 feet at the garage. Can you provide the rationale for that?
The rationale would be to reduce the amount of impervious surface, which lessens the amount of runoff. But at the houses, the driveways are 20-foot wide, and there's a turnaround area so that all of the cars exiting onto the private drive would be able to exit without backing up.
Sections 23-502.10.A and 23-502.10.B2, to permit grading within 5 feet of the property line. I understand that helps run off to the basin. Could you elaborate?
Yes, there is a drainage swale proposed along the line common with the country club that would accept the runoff from the proposed dwellings and get it into the detention basin. The flow is generally in this direction, and so that's the reason for the swale. To get the swale in there, we would be closer than 5 feet to the property line.
The next one, 22-618, is to permit disturbance of 98% of the existing woodlands. And I led the presentation with stating that's probably the biggest waiver request here. And it's the applicant's intention to comply with a replantation plan, to stay in communication with the township, with the engineer, Mr. Riggs, and to ensure that that before we even attempt to go to the supervisors, we are in compliance and working with them to make sure that replantation plan suffices. Is that accurate?
That's correct.
Section 22-403.1.R1, to permit the cul-de-sac to exceed the maximum 600-foot length. We're currently proposed length at approximately 800 feet. Fair to say that the circulation plans for that show no problem for a fire truck turnaround, and our emergency radius complies with what is prescribed by the ordinance.
Correct. The bulb at the end of the cul-de-sac is according to township standards, and so fire trucks and trash trucks can come to the cul-de-sac bulb and then just swing through the bulb and exit.
Section 22-403.1K, to waive the minimum 36-foot cartway width on Twining Ford Road. The existing cartway is approximately 27.4 feet, and so our waiver request is to not widen that. Is that accurate?
Correct.
Okay. And basis for that?
Is that it's pretty much uniform throughout from the proposed private drive all the way down to 2nd Street Pike. So we're hoping not to have to disrupt that feel and traffic flow out that way.
And the final two waivers have to do with the storm pipe, section 23-501.2.L1, to waive the 3-foot minimum cover over the HDPE storm pipes. Can you provide a little bit of background on that, as it's a little bit more technical, and the basis for it?
There's storm sewer that runs in this easement below the swale, and there's a small crossing into the cul-de-sac. All of this piping has the 3-foot cover. There's only that one small section that doesn't meet the ordinance requirement, and the cover is 2 feet 6 inches.
And when we were going through these previously, you had explained to me that the manufacturer of the pipe itself allows for 1 foot for the proposed diameter. Is that accurate as well?
That's accurate.
Okay. Section 23-501.2A, to waive the requirement that all storm sewer pipe within the road right-of-way be reinforced concrete pipe. Again, we are proposing the HDPE, and the road will be maintained privately by the HOA. Can you provide the basis for that waiver?
The HDPE is more or less standard use approved by PennDOT. It's hydraulically better than concrete, so that the flow is easier, it's easier to clean. That's mainly the reasons why we use it now.
I believe that's all the waivers that we went through one at a time. Are there any questions on any of those?
I think we're going to want to come back to 9 and talk about 9 a little bit, but let's let the consultants have an opportunity. Do you have any comments that you want to make at this point?
I'll just say for all those waivers, for the 9 that are from the subdivision land development ordinance, we'd have no objection to those,
Okay.
subject to the fee and lieu for the sidewalk.
Yep.
And the tree replacement for the tree disturbance. And then for the 4 for the stormwater management ordinance, again, have no objection to those. I'll point out, though, the one maybe a little bit more concerning would be the 100 feet from the dwelling to the edge of the basin, but there is I think it's an 8-foot difference elevation between the bottom of the basin and where the house would be. And between that spillway is another 2 feet between that and the bottom of that house, so.
You're comfortable with that?
We're comfortable with that as well, so.
Board comments? Anybody want to raise their hand? Anybody have anything they want to bring up?
No problem.
I'd like to hear just a little bit more about how you're going to, or what you're talking about as far as the compliance with the woodlands issue. Are you going to be putting trees on the properties? Are you going to be putting trees on the edges of the properties? Are you going to go down the road somewhere and put trees in? Because there's a requirement to replace caliper or something. What kind of discussions have been taking place on that?
And I'll defer to Mr. Genovese. He's been involved in those discussions. My understanding is that it's all of the above. So on the property, surrounding the property, and in areas throughout that area that would suffice in furtherance of complying with whatever township engineers and zoning officers have to say. So frankly, we understand that this project doesn't get approved until the powers that be say, hey, we're okay with what you've presented by way of a replantation plan. And we understand sometimes that might include coming back and saying, nope, we need more here, or we need more here, or a fee in lieu here. We're comfortable with that and completely understand that this is a pretty significant disturbance. And there have been trees removed already in the sense that they were dead trees. But we understand, and I imagine that many of the people seated behind me are very used to having that area be entirely wooded, and that this is a very big change, and the applicants recognize the significance of what that's going to look like, want to be good neighbors, want to make the township whole, for lack of a better way of explaining it, and whatever that requires, they're happy to do.
Okay. And any discussion about barriers or, some type of vegetation that would be used to allow separation of properties? We have a
plan that we've talked with the township already along the northeast side of the site. We would plant additional trees to fit in with the existing trees that are there already. And plus, there would be street trees planted along the edge of the cartway. On each of the lots, there will be at least 5 or 6 trees, depending on the area. So the larger lots would get 6 new trees, smaller lot would get 5. But all the lots would have trees. There would be a buffer planting along the country club and a buffer planting along the park, so that, not right away maybe, but in a couple of years, it would be fairly well tree covered. You're going to get them growing, it'll look pretty good. And I think that buffer along the neighbors is going to be pretty substantial.
Has the country club expressed any concerns of any sort?
Yes, they have. I haven't spoken, I haven't attended meetings with them, but there have been discussions, and they are very interested in making sure that, you know, this area is buffered along the entire length.
Any other board questions at this point? Okay. Public, your turn. Anybody want to come up and speak to?
My concern is everything pointing away from me. I'm the last house here, the very last house where that access road's gonna be.
Yeah, let us know what I'm sorry, your name and your address.
Moles, M-O-L-Z, 145 Woodside Drive.
Okay?
I am currently this last house where all this mess is going on. And that is my family room right there. Microphone. And they don't even know where this road's
Yeah,
going to go.
step up to the microphone there, Mr.
Oh, yeah,
That right there, please.
sorry.
Everybody wants to hear you.
So, yeah, okay, so this is my house here, and this is still like up in the air. Where are they gonna put this road here for the access road? This is my family room right there, so I'm gonna have a cul-de-sac in my family room. I've lived here 23 years. I live on 5 acres. This was a single 5-acre lot, and I'm on a 5-acre lot. Now we're gonna have a bunch of houses. I mean, I guess it's legitimate to that extent, but I really kind of feel like everything they point here doesn't wind up with me. I wind up with all the stuff from the access, from the gas pipeline, and we're not really sure what's going to happen with the access road coming out of the cul-de-sac going back to there. Because the gas pipeline brings tractor trailers in there and heavy equipment and everything else, so they can't have a turn in it like that. So that's not going to happen the way it is. So I don't know. And they, you know, I'm kind of very curious about how that's going to work out.
Have you guys coordinated as far as access? They're good with this path?
Yeah, we've talked extensively with the pipeline people, with Williams, and they're happy with the arrangement.
So you're going to give them, probably go straight out of here more? And give them property up there, across here? Or are they going to turn back into my house?
Right now, they're going out the end of see that orange
Right here.
area?
Yeah.
That's 20 feet wide.
Right.
And then the existing part of that dirt road that remains is also 20 feet wide.
Right, but there's a turn here.
Yeah, there's a turn there, but you got 20 feet, it's fairly substantial.
Well, right now, they have to back the truck down all the way from Twining Ford. They back it down the road to get it
Yeah.
in there.
And they're not going to have to back it anymore.
Well, they could turn it here, but they got to back it through there, probably.
Well, they may have to back it through there, but they'll be able to get down to the end of the cul-de-sac, swing around in the cul-de-sac. I'm not sure what they're backing up. May have to back up that short distance, but it's a very short distance. It's
They have
maybe less than.
They have a tractor trailer that comes to do their pigs about once every 2 years, which is probably 65 foot long. And they empty the pipe out with that thing, and it's a major tractor trailer they back up in
Okay.
there. And that's without them doing any work. If they bring work in, it's a regular, low boy with this excavation work that they bring back in there.
Okay, well, we can probably angle that. I'll bring it up with them and people in my office. And we could angle that access more so it's lined up with with that extension of the remaining part of the dirt road.
If I may, if it's okay, the applicant has asked if he could respond. Is that okay to Mr. Mold's question?
Sure.
Yeah, so where the cul-de-sac,
Sure.
Here you go.
Yep.
so where the cul-de-sac ends.
Could you identify yourself, sir, please?
How you doing? Chris Levins, I'm the applicant for the project. So right here in the corner, you'll see where we abolished the easement. We can change the trajectory of this here to go a little more, not so much towards the neighbor's house, but more to merge in, as long as we stay within our property line, to merge back onto the easement, which even 20 feet wide, going where it is, a tractor trailer up 52 foot, plus the tractor can definitely make that turn. So if that'll change it.
So somebody's going to get a look at that,
So the gas company already did agree, they approved our preliminary plan. So I'm sure they will follow that first.
Anybody else from the public want to speak?
So I'm the first house on the block.
Do you want to use the microphone?
No, I don't want the microphone, I can bellow as well as anybody else.
We need your name and
I'm
address.
Mary Patrice Ezzo. I live on the corner lot, the first lot there. Okay? So I bought the house 39 years ago. When we first bought the house, none of this was R2. When did that change? Because you weren't allowed to build a house because there wasn't enough frontage according to the township. Now, all of a sudden, we have 6 houses going in half-acre lots on 6, supposed to be 5 acres, but really, that's 1 acre apiece, so it's 6 houses on 3 acres. The other thing is, where's the light? These trees that he's talking about are 40 years old. They're falling down. They were planted by Bob Reinbach 40 years ago. They don't need to stay there because they're falling down anyway. Anything that you do along here is going to bring them down. They keep falling in my yard. I didn't even plant them. The other thing I want to know is you're going to have a lamppost there. I don't want a lamppost shining in my back window. And the other thing I wanted to ask, because I made lots of notes, is I know y'all don't know what this property looks like. We all live here. We know what this property looks like. To put 6 houses in our backyards is not really pleasant. So maybe you'd want to go take a field trip and see what this property really looks like before you say 6 acres, 6 houses on this little property. Planting all these trees that are already some there and not there, have to grow, not grow, that's a lot of problem here. So for 40 years, it's been a beautiful place, quiet, peaceful. We have deer, we have a lot of extra stuff coming in here. Now, I don't know who has the 2 horses, but they're beautiful. We should keep those 2 horses and not try to get more houses in this township that used to be bucolic. And now we have houses on every square foot. And I've worked in this township 40 years and seen lots of changes. And this is not one that I think is going to be good.
Any other public comments?
I'm Robert Filer. I live at 33 Woodside Drive. I'm 6 houses down from 20 Ford Road. First question is that, are you going curbing on both sides of the street, on each side?
Yes.
Okay. The easement that's there now, we technically own half that easement, correct?
Correct.
And where is our property line going to be now? What's proposed?
It will be where it is now, actually. This is the property line here, this heavy dark line.
That's in the middle of the easement, correct?
And that's in the middle of the
Okay.
easement. So the property line remains where it is.
Okay.
And that, the dirt road, which is the dashed lines, will be extinguished.
Right, okay.
So,
And you're proposing putting trees along that, down that side as well?
yes,
And
there'll
what
be,
and what
there'll
type
be
of
trees along
okay.
that side as well, and there'll be street trees along the
Inside of that?
inside, yes.
Now, what are you proposing to put up as a barrier for the because, you're going to have cars coming down people's backyards. I don't have a fence. I've never had a fence.
You're the only guy that doesn't.
I don't have a fence.
Yep, yep.
And he doesn't
Oh,
have
no,
a
you
fence
have-
either.
No, before they mentioned they
Okay.
were gonna put a fence back there possibly.
There's
So,
fence,
is that
there's
true?
fence along these properties.
They're private fences.
Yes, they're private fences. But we're not proposing a barrier along there. It'll be heavily landscaped, and there'll be street trees along that side.
So basically, the property owners would have to extend their fence.
Property owners could do that, sure. They could move the fence out to their property.
Because it was my understanding initially that you were going to put some type of barrier along there. You said a
And if we were proposing a fence as well.
fence.
That's really up to the township. If they want more trees or if they want a fence, we would.
We don't want people looking
We
in our
comply
back
either
yards
way.
and our back windows. You don't want people looking.
No,
I mean, I'm-
that's why we would comply either way.
Okay, all right,
You
because
know,
I have
they
two
were-
grandchildren who now
If they want tons
Yeah.
of trees, it would be
Yeah.
a tree barrier, but if it was a fence. Oh, I'm sorry.
okay.
Take it with you.
Troy Brennan, I'm Chris's partner on this. Either way, whether it be a white PVC fence or a tree barrier, we understand, we would comply, so that way it blocks view. Trees obviously are probably going to grow higher as a barrier than a fence would in the future, so.
Protect kids from going outside those.
Yeah, so either way, I mean, we would be okay with it either way.
Because they have young children.
Yeah, we have kids that are gonna be walking in the street.
So it's
We prefer fence.
they have fencing, so it's,
And I don't want trees, because then it's more for me to rake. So all of these are going into my yard.
so, okay. All right. And the cul-de-sac, why does it have to be 800 feet as opposed to 600 feet?
To take advantage of the site, and to get the detention basin in there, we'd have to extend it to provide the infiltration that we need according to the ordinance.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And just real quick, John, that waiver to extend that cul-de-sac, it's the same length as the cul-de-sac in the street following the neighborhood of. We're at the same length. The only difference is they have 17 or 18 houses. Our cul-de-sac is for 6. So the traffic impact is much lower, but it's really the same as the neighborhood next door.
You mean our street?
The one behind, yeah.
That's the street you know, that.
Yeah, your street. Yeah, you got houses on both sides following the same street length as we do.
Yes, but nobody's looking in our back window.
No, I'm just talking about extending the waiver we're looking for.
You want people looking in your backyard?
Well, that's why we offered both to
And-
fence or.
No, you didn't. You didn't offer anything. You sent out these things, and then you never showed up to the meetings.
We did. We were the.
May I ask the commission if we could handle this one at a time from the
Yeah.
microphone? Thank you.
If you have something to say, you can come back up to the microphone, and they're all legitimate questions. So we're not trying to cut anybody off or ignore anybody. We want to make sure you get all your questions, all your issues out, so that everybody here can hear them. And you have to remember that this, our planning commission is to determine whether it meets, whether it conforms or not. The supervisors also have a part in this for some, for other issues. But, right now, we're really focusing on the conforming with all the various, laws and what all that apply to this particular development. I'm sorry, your name, please?
Jacqueline Higgins, 21 Woodside, so I'm the fourth house in. When we met before in the fall, you mentioned that we were going to be gaining some property. You were going to be giving us back property.
So the easement gets,
You said the easement plus about 10 feet.
the easement will get extinguished so you can use the entire property. So the 10 or 15 feet wherever your fence is now, you can gain all the way to the center of the road.
But that's still our property, like we own that to the easement. I believe that when we met before, you said that you were going to give us an additional 10 feet on the other side.
Of usable space by extinguishing the easement.
That's not what you said, right? Yes, so you said when we met at the meeting in September, you were going to, obviously, the easement's our property. You said you were going
Correct,
to
but
be
you
giving
can't,
us
you
an
can't,
additional,
because you can't use that easement right now. You can't put a fence across that easement
I
now.
realize that,
But now that entire property will be yours.
but you're not giving us anything. I think that was part of the thing, was you were going to be giving us property back. I can't remember the word that you used before, but you were going to give us, I think, part of the deed for that little plot of land behind each one of our houses. Is that still happening, yes or no?
Could I just respond, because I think this is a legal question? The property is always yours, it's
Yes,
been yours.
yes.
That dark black line
Yes,
is
yeah.
your property. You can't use that space from the black line to the dotted line. So
Yes.
I think it's a form of semantics for them to say, we're giving you 10 feet. They're saying you can use this 10 feet. There's no, it wasn't that you're getting a new deeded set of space.
It was worded.
Going to be to the next document.
To the next dotted line, that's how you said it. So I'm worried that you're going to be taking that land that you said earlier, that you're going to give us the extra land past that black line because you had no use for it, and then you're going to be planting all these trees there now, because that's your land technically. But before you said that you were going to be giving us additional land. That was like the, woohoo, we're going to get some additional land out of the deal.
Yes, you're gaining 10 feet out of it of usable space.
No, that's not what that you said before.
So there's minimum requirements in the township, but we can't lose any more space we wouldn't be able to fit our road in.
To top off that, yes. So
I'm sorry, your name?
my name is Katie Fillais.
And-
I am Jacqueline's neighbor. So I just moved
What's
in
your address, please? Where?
15 Woodside.
Thank you.
I am the newest person, 2 years ago. I have 3 children, very, very young. So what Jacqueline just said is what concerns me. We did meet and you said, okay, this is the easement, we can't use it, we don't want to abolish these beautiful trees, so we're going to go on the other side of the tree line is what we discussed. And we thought that was ambitious, but clearly it didn't work out. You had originally told us that there was going to be a fence on the other side of the easement. So the whole gas line, there was going to be a fence after that. Now it seems like it's going to be straight through the center and it's just going to be a bunch of trees. No more fence. So my children can now walk into the driveway that the gas line, which normal, okay, but any of those 6 cars, so that could be 12 to 15 cars plus delivery drivers plus just a lot more activity than what I purchased. I'm new to Council Rock, I'm new to Northampton. I was told when I bought the home that there would probably be 2, maybe 3 homes. I don't know about the R2, I'm not smart about that, but this is a lot of homes to squeeze. So one question in terms of privacy. How do these homes, like I can't tell on this, how is it going to align with my back windows? Are they like plot for plot, or is there any type of consideration to maybe staggering them so that they're not looking directly into my back windows? When someone's not pulling out of their home in the morning, it's not lighting up my son's bedroom at 6 a.m. Can you answer that?
We offer fence, tree, we will.
Not the fence, no, I'm asking about the alignment of the homes now.
Well, that's how they have to lay out. You can see up there, it's like, you guys, I think.
So where's my home?
Sorry, I think these lots are wider than all your guys' lots. Am I correct by saying that, John?
That's correct.
So these lots are actually bigger than all the lots that you guys have up top. That's why you're able to squeeze so many houses in up top, less than we can't squeeze, because we got to meet today's ordinances. So, and I think elevation-wise, John, am I correct by saying our houses drop a little bit lower in elevation-wise than where theirs does? So if they pull out, if there was a fence there or whatever it is, those lights would hit that fence because the elevation's a little lower than the houses above it, than your actual houses on your street.
Correct. And the fence actually would be along the southwest side of that dirt road.
Can you show her which line that would be?
I'm not even sure I'm advocating for a fence. I'm just asking for the consideration of privacy.
No, and we want,
Okay.
that's, there are options we're trying to offer to give that.
I would hope that would be a communal decision.
So this is the I'll say, side or the edge of the dirt road that's on our property, and that is the other edge that's on your property. So that a fence could be installed along this lower edge of the dirt road. It's just that we were under the impression that trees were more important.
Privacy is important, so yes, trees and fences,
Yeah, they are.
all of
I'm
it.
not saying they're not important.
And I thought we were okay with the fence, just so clear. We were 100% okay with the fence from the beginning. And the township, which we're trying to appease the neighborhood, obviously, without disruption, and you guys as well, and they said, okay, let's put a whole barrier tree line down there for the impact of some of the trees we're going to remove. And everybody was happier with the tree line. Now,
Okay, and forgive me, what kind of trees?
I mean, we'll.
There's a variety of trees.
Yeah, there was a, they
Like
don't.
big ones with just tall trunks, or are they going to be like fluffy ones that have green around? Like what kind of trees?
We would try to go with the privacy trees and the big ones with the fluff.
The ones that the deer eat, like that's a,
Arborvitae?
yeah, because they have the, like we have them and they don't work, so that's what I'm wondering.
Green giants work well. Here's all really the green giants. So, I mean, there's trees to use.
Well, the deer are going to be looking for a lot, because you're taking their home.
There's a park right there as well.
Can I, if it's okay, just make one comment on the process and kind of where we are to clarify what the applicants are willing to do. So I keep saying the phrase "by right," and forgive me if you know this.
I don't know anything, so.
And by the way, as a mom, I totally get it that you have these concerns, and coming here and telling the township what they are is absolutely, you're right. And these two guys behind me are considering it, and they want to be good neighbors. But when we say by right, the size of the properties, the things that we're asking to do, we didn't have to go and ask under the law, hey, can we do this here? By right means they own the property so they can do these things. Now, separate from requesting waivers for various pieces of it, which is what we're here explaining why we want to do that. And I say that to you not to say, well, you don't get to tell them. They want to hear what you have to say, but the part of it that's like, I don't want this because I don't want these people here, if I'm being very real with you, is not their decision in a sense. It's and we have a right, and I say we, the applicants have a right to make reasonable use of property that they purchased. And I get it with all of my heart. Do I understand? I grew up in Northampton. I know what it used to be. They want to hear what you have to say. They want to be good neighbors. They want to understand that this is a really big change for all of you. And so the fence versus the trees are all things that they're happy to consider. We're here to say, these are the things that we want them to recommend. Hey, these people are going to do the right thing here, and they want to be good people that are good neighbors to all of you and your homes, and understand that this is a really big change. So let us know, what kind of trees do you like? What kind of fence do you want? Okay. Because in a sense, you're lucky that you have people that care about it and want to get it right for you. That's all. I just wanted to bring that up.
Good point.
I appreciate that very much. And we did meet, I guess, in the fall. And that definitely was a miscommunication, because you did, we walked out of that thinking we were getting the owned land from our easement plus some. And so in my eyes, my understanding was these properties are going to be even further away from my home. And now hearing that it has changed because of whatever it is, that pushes these people closer to my backyard. And yes, it's their right. So on that note, the 5 to 6 trees you're going to plant on each property, how many are in the front versus the backyard?
In general, there will be 2 in the front yard, 2 on each side of the house, and 2 at the rear of the house.
Okay. All right, and then my next question is the construction. And I know that's a bus stop. I'm there every morning. Also, I have a 7-month-old who doesn't sleep. Like, what's this going to do to my day-to-day, and how long is this going to take? And I know that it's your right, but if you could explain that, it would be helpful. Because one day, people just showed up cutting down trees, and we had no warning.
Yeah, so we anticipate construction's going to take about a year. to
Okay.
finish, from start to finish. Our construction entrance will be where the road is now, existing.
Where the bus stop is.
It's where the bus stop is now.
That concerns me a lot for kids that are just waiting there. And I know you can't control it, but I don't know what we can do about that.
I don't know. Yeah, we'll be absolutely around the site. We'll put fencing up around the site, but where the construction entrance comes in and out of the site, I don't think with what we're trying to save on Twiningford Road, I don't think we can move that.
Okay.
But John can answer that better than I can. If we can move it, I'll move it. I have no problem entering the site from somewhere else. But the construction's going to take about a year.
What time school go?
So, well, there's multiple school buses. Starting at 7 to like 9.
Yeah,
Well, 8:35, 8:40.
and construction will
They're
typically start at
so
7.
small. Yeah.
So-
Go ahead.
I was just going to point out, so there are requirements under, for when they're not allowed to work. I feel for you with having a
school hours
baby.
are like 6 hours a day, so like.
No. What I was saying is they can't work at 6 a.m. having trucks, and I don't know what it states as it relates to time, Mr. Solomon, 7. So you're
That's early.
so you're saved by way of the baby at that time, but the little kids bus, the ones that you'd probably be most concerned with running out, is an 8:30 bus time, right? Something along those lines.
And they get off at like 4.
And we'll already be underway at that point.
Yeah, okay. I'm sure I have so many more questions. Hold on, let me think for 1 sec. Buffer along the driveway, the trees, the cul-de-sac. Yeah,
And Chris and Troy, that she's, if I'm sorry, tell me your name again.
I'm Katie.
Katie's comments being things that both of you as dads
100%.
understand, and you're willing to share your contact information,
Yeah,
like, hey, this was really loud,
Everybody can have my cell
Yeah.
phone.
or hey, we're happy to let you know that, it's going to be loud for the next week, just letting you know around this time.
And how about like the homes? I think we talked, like they're 4 to 5 bedrooms, right? How many, like, that's a lot of extra people that are going to be on that street then, if you think, right? I'm
They're
just,
4 to 5 bedroom homes that kind of fit in the area. That's what most of the township is, 4 to 5 bedroom homes.
I mean, how much are they going to be valued at? Like,
They will be north of $1 million.
yeah, that's not the area that I live. Like, I don't know.
It kind of is, though.
I bought my home 2 years ago, and it was not for that. And I'm just saying that I could see a lot of people living in a home like that to afford it, is my thought. I don't know. I appreciate it, the time, I guess, but if you could communicate with us.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody else? Any other comments from anybody up here? Mike?
I would just add, if everybody could put their contact information on that sign-in sheet, I think we could collaborate and have that discussion on those issues moving forward.
To the extent that was a question, we're happy to send out a listserv or...
There's a lot of discussion here tonight as far as moving forward, fence, trees. I think it'd be great if we could just have a list of all the neighbors and the contact information.
Absolutely, and I'll leave my card out there as well, so they can contact me too.
Great.
Can you explain the process for like what happens next?
So the next step, if the Planning Commission makes a recommendation tonight, the next meeting would be before the Board of Supervisors. That schedule has not been finalized yet. It could be next month, but we will post it on the website, or you're welcome to reach out to me for that date.
Any other comments at this point? If not, let's go ahead and vote on this. We have Mike, you got a motion?
Yes. I move that we recommend to the Board of Supervisors preliminary final approval of the 424 Road Subdivision, SLD 25-1, subject to compliance with the Township Engineers Review Letter dated February 26, 2026, and the Township Track Engineers Review Letter dated February 25th, 2026. We also want the applicants to agree to replant replacement trees as proposed by the township replantation plan, and we also ask the developers to consider the neighbors' concerns.
Okay.
It is also I did all that. It is also recommended that the requested waivers be granted.
Thank you, Mike. That's good. Okay, let's vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any nays? Nay. Motion is passed.
Thank you very much.
I think that is the last piece of business we have today. And thank you for your comment. Thank you for your help explaining it. Neighbors, we're glad to see you out here. And with that, meeting is adjourned.